All right, so I think to follow suit of some other people on YouTube, I'm just going to make a video going around updating people on different projects and where we stand, because I got a lot of stuff. So that's what we'll do right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and we're gonna go around and just look at some stuff and see what our plans are for it. So I guess we'll just start out here and make our way around. All right, 7300 combine. Basically, we just need to make it a little more better here and there. It is usable, as we saw. I need to clean it up and try to get it put away. Haven't got that far. Just one of the things that happens when you're a one-man band, but it's yeah, basically a usable machine. There's just a few little things I'd like to improve. The grain pan patch is pretty sketchy, but it did get us by. So that's where that stands, and that's not a big deal. We're, you know, we can piddle with that at some point. Out here in the field of failure, or I guess it's kind of become an area for new projects unloading, but 540 planter, we need to tinker with that at some point. I'd like to try it out this spring and, you know, plant a few rows with it. And then with the 543, maybe do a video on different planters. We'll see how that treats us. Here's that stuff that was by the side of the road free. I need to mess with it and see if it even has any life in it left at all. This mower might be a good one, who knows? We just got to tinker with it one day and, you know, find the time to do that. 9650, that horse should be ready to go. It's dirty, it needs a good washing. The only thing I really need, well, it needs some things. I want to replace the valve cover gaskets. I've got new ones in the cab, just because that is a common way that they get full of dirt, and we don't want that to happen. It does need that front axle clutch rebuilt. Somebody said, oh, it's electric and that's your problem. No, guys, I know more. So what I'm telling you is it's capped off. It's because it has a seal failure and it was dumping oil out on the ground as fast as it would go. So the guy before me capped it off. I've been using that way. It's always in four-wheel drive. When I take it on the road, I don't go wide open. But basically, it's still usable. It just needs a good washing. I've never even really washed it since I got it. I need to clean that the rest of the way up and make it more better. One of these days, we'll get that done. Oliver sprayer. Just drug this in not too long ago. I have accumulated so far a correct pump for it, and my buddy Tim sent me the strainer thing that goes on the end. Basically how this worked is you put it down in the barrel and you ran until that barrel was empty, and then you put it in other barrels. They were not plumbed together to my knowledge. Well, I wanted to do a video just on sprayers, but that should be coming up at some point in the future. One night I'll get with it and we'll talk more about that. There's more junk from the auction. I need to get that unloaded because I need to use that trailer. Never got that done. Got the wagon off. We need to take that bed off. I'll save these rails for building another wagon bed on something. But this is gonna probably be the gear on a gravity wagon because I like that it's heavier. I talked about that before, so that's the way it is. Nothing exciting to see here. Ah, the old red and silver truck, AKA the Dick truck. That has been its nickname because the guy I bought it from's first name was Dick, and we always called it the Dick truck. But it needs a lot of things done to it, cosmetically more than anything. The only thing holding the body on is imagination. So I'm probably gonna get rid of it now that I got that Superduty, but I don't know. At the very least, I'm gonna fix some of the stuff. That might make some interesting videos. Body mounts need gone through and get new bushings and all that. Lots of stuff on the body's junk. I got 2 new front fenders for it. This I just did not too long ago. when I was getting a little out of hand with a tractor, and definitely backed into it full speed and started to climb up the front of the thing and ruin that. So that's nice. So the biggest thing, like up here, this radiator core support is no good. That was a common problem on these trucks, the diesels especially. They make a dandy replacement one that's a lot heavier built, and I was going to get that several years ago, and then it was not available, back ordered, and now I looked the other day, shows that I can get it again, so I may get that and we'll do that swap. But since I'm going to change out fenders and everything, I'll probably just pull the whole front end of the truck off and start over, and we'll do, it's got a diesel fuel leak on the injection pump, so we'll get that fixed in that time we're messing with the body if we get to this project. Unless somebody just wants it the way it is now and just can't, oh, that can't live without it, I'll probably just sell it like it is, but I doubt that's gonna happen. The hood's fine, it just needs repainted. This side of the truck's fairly decent, other than the typical places that these rust out. Four-wheel drive trucks are worse than whatever, but it blows my mind the exorbitant price that these old body style trucks still bring. So that's what makes me want to maybe fix it up a little and see if somebody else wants to own it. I like that body style and I've liked those trucks, but that is not the motor that I wanted. I would rather have the Power Stroke 7.3, and this is the indirect injected with a turbo, but we'll talk about that in later videos. It's still a drivable truck and I'll use it here and there, but yeah, I guess let me know if you want to see more videos on fixing it up. We'll just walk around here. The little Escape, I'm basically riding this horse till it lays down. It's got some severe suspension problems and who knows what all. It's probably not worth fixing because you can go on the internet and find them for 1,500 bucks. So we'll see. I guess when something falls off, we'll decide if we want to put it back on or just shoot it and move on. Hay rake, that needs to go away. I need to haul it out to the forever parts pile out there. I pretty well got what I wanted off of it or could use, but there are some things that could be future spare parts for the 105 rake. 88 needs to be put away. It wouldn't start the other day. I think it's probably needing some gas, so whatever. Combine, same way, needs to be put away. There's more to do to it, mainly cosmetics. It worked flawlessly when we were out there. It just needs, like I said, finish restored. So we'll tinker with that at some point. 60 on steel. It needs more time devoted to it too. I kind of ran out of time and never got back to it. It wouldn't start the last time we went to use it, and so it's going to need some carburetor work, and it needs body work, and there it is. It's just one of those. Being on steel wheels, it's not a humongous priority for me as something to use, but we'll tinker with it here and there. Same way like with all the plows. This is the 134 plow. I've never tried it out. I'd like to. And same way with my whole row of plows. I kind of have been finding parts for them, and I make them more better as I get time, but I don't plow all the time, so it's not like it's a huge priority for me. So yeah, all the implements, we'll just get to those as we see fit. 105 rake, usable. We used it last year, put all the teeth on it and went. So it needs a cosmetic restoration. I'd like to make the windshields for it and get that done and figured out. There's several other people who said they'd like to have some too, so if I could figure out a cost-effective way to do that, that might be something. Yeah. Same way with this. I've never used it, but we got it going last year where I think it'll rake. So we need to just, when hay season rolls around, air up some tires and go again and see what happens. They went flat from sitting, but they did hold air over the summer when I aired them up. So we'll mess with that later. Oh, the old Thunderbird, everybody asks about it. I just never ever get time. I keep saying I'm gonna do something with it and never have. I need to get it up off of this spot. The last time I tried to start it, the fuel pump quit, so I got a new fuel pump, but I don't know. That tire's blown. We'll mess with that one day maybe, or never, but we'll see. That's another thing that I guess, leave comments if you want that to happen. But I got so many projects, it's just gonna be whenever it happens. Oh, where else to go? I got stuff everywhere. Ford, I almost started on this the other day. We need to work on the steering box on it, because I use it all the time in the summer to do spot spraying and fence lines. So before wintertime, or wintertime is over, we need to tear into that. And basically what I would say has happened is one of those ball bearings on the top or the bottom of that deal has self-destructed, and it makes it really difficult to turn one direction. 543 planter, that should be good to go, other than I broke a marker tube over the summer. I might have one located. I've got a parts planter, there might be one on there, I don't know. Here's something you've never seen, and I was going to do a video on it sometime, but this is an almost totally original Snow Boss snowblower, and I just couldn't resist buying it. I mean, I gave almost nothing for it. I actually found another size and was going to go get it, and then I got sick and never went after it. So that guy's probably mad at me and it's long gone, but I don't know. I'll never use it. It's just one of those things that'll be fun to play with and see if we can get running. It's got the electric start option. So anyway, that's neat. Mower, we just did that the other day, but we need to get new blades and do our service work on the deck and stuff. I don't want to jump around too much, but this thing, I've had a bunch of people ask about it. I'm kind of over it. If somebody wants it for a nominal fee, like what I've got in it, I would definitely sell it to them. And anyway, I know I can make it run if I put a battery and a car coil on it. That's what we'll do sometime whenever I get a chance, but very low priority. As is with a lot of the garden tractors and things I've got. I've got a bunch more, but we'll skip over that and just hit the highlights today. Where should we go next? More garden tractors. They're stuffed in every hole out here imaginable, because at one time I really got into them pretty heavy. This, people have asked about. It's a Cockshut 50 diesel. I bought it all in pieces, and I don't have enough pieces to put it back together. I don't know that it's worth putting back together, but I thought it was a neat old diesel tractor. That's why I bought that one. I don't know if I've ever showed that or you saw it, but I've got a burnt tractor that I was going to rob some parts off of and whatever. So we'll get to that at some point, maybe, or never, who knows. 770 flat top fenders. This is a nice tractor. I really like it. Basically, all it needs is cosmetics. It's got a very terrible paint job on it where it looks like they brushed it on with a paintbrush, and I've just never had time to do anything other than fix what it needed at the time. You know, we did all that seat. I really like the deluxe seat. That's super awesome and comfortable. So anyway, that's projects for another day. VAC case, yeah, it runs. It still needs a little bit of stuff, as we brought it home from the fair and it kind of fought me. Starter, I think, needs rebuilt. The post is bad. We'll tackle that. Yeah, nothing interesting. This thing I wanted to try to mess with, get going. That was actually the only riding lawnmower my grandpa ever bought, and it was a cheapo, like a dime store mower. And there's probably not that many of them left around. And this one has had a rough life. It sat outside under a tree for years. It got sawed in half. I got a different transmission and rebuilt that. The motor's locked up. I was going to find a different motor. I never got any farther. It's been sitting, and now it's going downhill again. So that's the way my life seems to work. In here, we've got projects for a customer. We've got the 550 diesel that's been here over a year, and I've just never had time to get it going. That's not excusable, really. I should not have let that sit here that long, but he says that it's okay, and I don't think he's got multiple tractors. It's not like he was waiting on it, but I want to get this done and out of here, so this is probably going to come up very soon in video, so we can move this on and I can cash out on this so that I have money on hand to work on his other project here, which is going to be very involved. This is a 1650 in a basket. I have the block back from the machine shop, and the crank and all that's ready to go. The head is still at a machine shop getting done. I'm down to the point where I need to send off the rods and get those reconditioned. When I did inventory the other day on this basket to figure out for sure, because it was just a big pile of stuff partially boxed up in cardboard and whatever, I discovered we were missing one rod, so I've got him another rod. I got to get those broke down so that we can take them and, you know, bushings, that kind of thing, resize the big end. So that is a major project. Whenever I get the motor close to finished, I'm going to have him bring over the frame of the tractor so we can put it together and hear it run and see what other issues the tractor might have. But anyway, that's a major project, but it will be happening soon. And then we have the, my goal, I guess, is to have that done so that when he comes with the other one, we can swap and he can take that. Go on with our lives. This Escape, I don't know. The thing that troubles me about it is it's got a beautiful body. It's, I mean, perfect. But the motor is not very good. It runs, but the transmission kind of went out on him on the interstate, and he just kept her hammered and got where he was going. So the motor was screaming, and now it gets hot in short order. It did after it cooled off. It will run and drive, but probably not in all the gears. I haven't ever taken it on the highway or anything or on the road, but I own it now, so I kind of was holding out to see if maybe if I could find one that was in a horrible accident where everyone died or whatever and it was smashed flat, but it had a good engine and transmission. Maybe I could make a good one, but I don't know if it's worth it. Right now it's storage for things. It's got the it's got that 1650 block and crank in the back of it to stay dry. So anyway, that's probably not that interesting. The two cars here, I got all the stuff to put this brown car back together, which I need to do because I love the brown car. I love to drive it. It makes me happy. So I need to get that done. Everything's in the front seat. Needs to be put together. I want to get the 91 car going again. It'll run and drive just fine. Battery's dead right now. It probably needs some attention. This was Grandpa's last car, and I don't want it to go anywhere. I got... He had 4 cars in his lifetime, and I got 2 of them. So I always thought it'd be neat to find all of them and have the other 2 I need would be a 65 Galaxy 4-door, which was a beautiful car. It was gloss black. And then the other one was a 54 Ford 4-door custom, and it was a dark greenish color. But I always thought it'd be neat to have all 4 of the cars that he had, but I don't know if I'll ever get that done. I could be a car collector if I wanted. I like things that move and drive, but whatever. This sad pile, which keeps growing, and I don't intend it that way because this is actually like my parking area, but it seems like stuff accumulates. Parts tractor, I started cleaning up the other day. I want to get this out of here and drag it out to its forever home in the woods or whatever till I need it again. And yeah, so that's gonna go away. The forklift, I desperately want to get to that project because I could be using this forklift all the time, and I just have not got a chance to do it because it's going to be a major deal. I got to take all the forklift off of it to get to the tractor because it's got a problem in the rear end. So I just need to, I'll probably end up buying a donor tractor, flip the ring gear over and go again. But that is a project for very soon, I hope, because like I said, I could use it. This one has side shift on it. It just needs to be tore into and start going, so that's very important. Garden tractors, I had a bunch of them too. This runs and drives. I need to send it on its way to somebody who would love it more. I don't know. This 70 on steel, it's got a different motor in it, but it's probably locked up by now. Depressing, but this tractor's junk. I mean, I basically, what a 70 is worth, I need to find a running and driving 70 and put the back wheels on it and the front axle and move on, and make this one yard art. But I don't know, we'll see. 77, I believe this was possibly the one that great grandpa owned, and I got a different engine for it. It's sitting in there, but I noticed it was just slopped out. It was very damaged in shipping, and that didn't do it any favors. Then I noticed there was slop in the crank. I ordered all new bearings for it and was going to try to slap those in and go again. That happened about 4 years ago on Thanksgiving Day, and that's the last time I ever messed with it. And I'm hoping that it's not locked up, because who knows? It could be. I don't know. It's actually half tore apart now, so it's probably not a good time to try to move it, but we'll investigate that one day. Because if that was the case, I could roll those bearings in and have this thing running in an hour or two. So, I don't know. This is the big one that people want, and I want it too. But the 1955, which has been sitting here, I moved it up here so I could start working on it. Never got it done. But the motor is very much garbage. It's going to need a total rebuild. I've had it sitting full of stuff. Can't even get the dipstick out now. So I guess that'll just stay like that. One of these days I'll get all fired up and we'll pull it apart, and if it's apart, at least I can start getting the stuff to, you know, the appropriate machine places and maybe get something done there. Red truck. I dearly love this truck. It doesn't owe me nothing. It's got like 500,000 miles on it, and it just runs and runs. It is a 6.9 liter diesel, and it's been apart for maybe a year now. I got the transmission rebuilt, and it just needs hoisted back up in there. I couldn't do it by myself that day, and I've never had a chance to get back and mess with it. But I just need to put that up in there, put it back together, and it would be drivable again. And I would run the heck out of it because I love to drive it. It's a 5-speed. It started out life as a C6 automatic, 3-speed, and that went out, and I changed it over to a 5-speed, and that's the combo that I love. A 5-speed diesel. I don't know. I just like this truck, so I want to get that done fairly soon and decide. That will help me decide, you know, which ones I'm going to keep if I get rid of that 2-color pickup, but we'll see. 61 F600. It's been sitting here a couple years. We might do a will it run on this very shortly, because I guarantee you if I dump gas in it and crank on it, it'll fire right up. It's been a good truck. It was bought new by Grandpa's uncle. They were going to start to scrap it and part it out or whatever, and I caught that and I bought it and was going to use the hoist off of it for ours. And then the truck ran so good that I just ended up fixing it up a little and using it. And then the brakes messed up, and it's just been sitting, and that's not good for it. So I started working on that and never got a chance to finish it. So it just is one of those things. I need to focus down. This year my goal is, I'm trying not to buy any more stuff. I want to fix the stuff I got, but I don't know how far I'll get on that, because I'm sure I'll find a good deal on something. But I want to get this truck going. I may still rob the hoist off of it and then just make this a flatbed truck to haul water or something. I don't know. But yeah, Co-op, it's got a different motor in it. This is one of my C virus time projects, and started in on it, and then it just never got finished. So it's been sitting. I hope it's not stuck now. It's been covered, but you know how that goes. It's got a motor in it out of a Gleaner combine, because the original motor, somebody chiseled the sleeves out and messed it all up. But I never could get it to fire. So I don't know what we're going to do there. We'll figure something out. All right, I got interrupted, but we can continue on now. Parts truck, that was my first pickup. It's basically junk, but I'm too sentimental to get rid of it yet, so we'll see. This one I want fixed up. It would probably run if I messed with it again. This is our pickup we had when I was a kid. It's a 79 F250. My dad bought it new, and Grandpa and I rode in this all the time. I mean, millions of miles. I mean, it just, we went to every auction imaginable, and I don't know. I really want to get it fixed up and go again, but it's pretty rough. The bed is junk, so I got a new bed, and it needs work. The new bed isn't much better, but it is better because it's still in the shape of a bed. And it's been sitting here upside down with the hopes that, you know, I'd get to work on it, but that ain't never happened yet. The rest of the body and stuff is leaning up against there. It's got 2 different doors on it. I don't know. That's a rough project, but I'd like to do it. There's the fenders for the 2-color truck and a brush guard that I was going to put on it and never did. I might actually throw that on the service truck. I don't know. 880, yeah, it needs stuff. There's a bunch of stuff we could do to it to make it more better. I got lights and everything. I got a better fender for it. We need to work on the charging system. Tires need attention. Cosmetic. We'll get there. Mower, it needs to be put back together. I got everything I think to do it. Just time. That's going to be a high priority because we need to use it whenever the grass starts growing. We could probably use it right now in the winter and finish what we didn't get mowed, but whatever. I'm trying to hit the highlights here because I'm not going to talk about everything. I've talked about it in equipment tour videos. Nothing is left. Everything is still here. This manure spreader, I don't know. It's not worth fixing. I should probably do something with it, but I'm over it. I mean, yeah, it's just, it gets worse the more you mess with it. The more stuff you work on, the worse it is. So I don't know if we'll ever get back to that or not. 1600. It's another one. It's been unloaded here for over a year and I've never done a thing with it. So we need to tear into it and figure out what exactly its problem is. It was bought with the understanding that it had a spun bearing in the motor, but that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So we don't really know yet what it's like. I want to find a narrow front for it because I don't like that aftermarket axle. I've got fenders for it. Should be at that Oliver guy's house. I bought them on an auction in Iowa and then they got trucked. I think Alan went and got them with some stuff that he bought and he brought them to Michigan. So I need to go up there one day and then get my fenders and other stuff. But that's a project for any time. We just need to tear into it and go. Same way with this. Everybody asks about the purple 1850 project. Well, it's gotten this far. It's just another one. It was totally disassembled and I've been using the best parts off of stuff. I got absolutely everything to do it. It's just another one that's going to be a huge time commitment. 4180, we got to get this done. This is like #1 priority because we're going to be needing this shortly. Got to get us a tire. We got to fix that wheel seal while we're this far. We've got to get this cooler fixed in the nose so it doesn't leak, and then we should be golden on that deal. Service truck doesn't need anything other than a good cleaning. It needs organized and cleaned, and I'm a slob, so I don't know. I need to just push everything out onto the ground and then light a fire, and whatever was in there I didn't really need anyway because it's down to where you can't hardly even drive it. There's not enough room for a driver. Everything's piled full. 550, yeah, it gets used every day. It didn't want to start the other day when we used it for some reason, but we may need a good carburetor cleaning, and I don't know. Like I said, it gets used every day, so it's a good little horse. John Deere needs a tire fixed. It's another one that gets used quite frequently because it's a loader tractor. Not that I'm a Deere collector, but this one's always going to live here. I've got too much money in it now to let anyone else have it, so that's the way that goes. We need to get back on this and get that tire fixed. I started trying to get headlights to work. They've never worked in my lifetime. The back 2 fenders are junk. However, I don't know if they're different. Maybe a John Deere person could explain that to me. Since this is a high utility, I'm thinking that these fenders are taller than the regular one, and I don't know that I could get reproductions that would be just like this. I wish I could, because that would be the way to go, because they are garbage. But that's another project for another day. Yeah. There's a Bush Hog brand Bush Hog back here we need to mess with. I don't remember what's wrong with it, but it needs going through. I could use that if we had it going. This is another priority I want to get done at some point. This is the F600 that we grew up with. My great-grandpa bought it new, and then my grandpa owned it. I think if a guy polished on it, it would probably still shine up. It's got a few rust holes, but that's from hauling feed in the bed. The bed is very, 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 very rough, and it would be better to just find a different one. However, I don't know that I would do that because I like that. I mean, this is an Omaha standard with these stock racks, and I rode in this truck many hundreds of miles, and I want to get it going again, because I would rather have this, quite honestly, I would rather have this than that 880 truck that I bought. I would probably, if I got this going good, even though it's smaller, I might turn loose of that big one. I don't know. I'm really not a fan of that big one yet. Maybe I'll get there, but I don't really like that Road Ranger transmission. And I'm sure the old truckers will say, oh, it's no big deal and you'll love it when you get used to it, but I don't know. I would rather drive this any day of the week. So I had it running not too many years ago, rebuilt the carburetor, and that's where it's at. I have not started it since then because I didn't want to pull trash into it. So we need to probably forget the original tank and just, you know, either find us a new one or whatever, because that original fuel tank thing is a no-go. I'm sure it's full of rust and junk. But yeah, I mean, this was the pride of the area there when it was brand new, because it was I mean, I know they used it for hay rides and all kinds of stuff, but brand new, I mean, this is what everybody had, a 600 Ford. So we're gonna get it going again. There's a snap coupler bush hog I bought for Dad's WD, and I've never gotten the tractor over here to fix, so we need to fix that tractor too. It's got a problem where it gets too hot, so we got to figure out what the deal is. We got to do more work on buildings. I've still got siding and stuff, and I want to redo all this so that it doesn't look like a pile of crap, but I just haven't got that far. You know, parts room in that building, wanted to get that done, haven't done that. Baby steps though. I've got a method in my brain to why I do things in the order that I do. So I got to get some things done, and then we'll go back in and start cleaning up in that room. 55 combine, we're getting very close to having a video on trying to drive it. So it runs, it shifts from the cab, but it does not start from the cab. We need to get that fixed. Oh, what else? Everything's all crammed in here for the winter, and I've been cleaning. Wintertime is when I do my yearly cleaning and just start chucking stuff in the trash and whatever. This combine, I really want to get it going again because I had so much fun with the green one. We need to figure out that transmission situation. You know all that. So we'll get that. 1800C needs the cab pulled off of there, hydraulic unit pulled off of there, and a new pump and seals put in that draft control linkage because it dumps oil in the pan, in the rear end about as fast as you go. So that's kind of a priority. You know, I haven't been doing my own spraying for several years, but it would be nice to go out and do one right after planting with it. So I don't know, we'll get there. This combine 545, we need to get back on that. It's to the point where all the pieces are back on it except for that snout. I need to weld up a snout. Nobody's ever come through for me with the correct style, as these are different than the 700 series style. I mean, that's just the way it is. I don't know what to say, people. I can't really explain it. Can I pull one out side by side? So if you look at them at first glance, they don't look different, but they are. The point is made differently, and more importantly, the hinge apparatus is made differently with the way it goes through there. And I don't think you're going to get that one to fit on here, because these go like in between two things, and I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna, that ain't gonna fly. It'd be more work to try to modify that than it would be to just find the right one, because I know they're out there. People probably don't even want them anymore, but getting them here is the problem. But once that's done, we need to do the big things that broke when I used it last was that point and the gathering chain breaking, and then this auger, a cable broke and it bent this out a little bit. This needs to get put back in, and then the cable strung so that the weight, because that is a heavy auger, and yeah, so we need to do all that, and then it would be ready probably to go. I mean, it worked last time, so why wouldn't it work now? It ran the last time we started it, so who knows? We'll get there. 70 Really want to pull the head off of it, take it in and get it reworked through, because it's got a blown head gasket and it uses oil, and I would say the valve guides are shot. So a good head job never hurt anybody, and it would probably do that thing wonders. So that's on the list. Maybe like when I get the head back for that 1650 diesel, I can flip-flop and take him that one. Everything in here should be in fairly good shape for the most part. Super 55, it still needs work on the hydraulics. They are not as powerful as they should be. I've got one or more extra pumps if we need that. I know you can get stuff new. I might just do that. I got all the stuff to do it, just never had time. Want to pull that unit off, flip her upside down and figure out what it is, because it's probably just it needs good cleaning and whatever. Something in there is rusty and not working right, because this thing sat for who knows how many years. When I bought it, it was in pieces. Otherwise, it's still usable. I use it for stuff. 500, it doesn't owe us nothing. It's been a good one. It just needs cosmetic stuff. Probably needs a little fiddling with the linkage there, because it's kind of finicky, but no big deal. John Deere, we need to finish that one fender. It needs some welding on it. It wouldn't start the last time I tried again, so that's just great. The carburetor started overflowing after the fair, so we need to take it off and get it lined out. But if we do that and file the points again, it'll probably fire right up and it'll be fine again. It was running really good this summer. Hopefully that's where we are. Super 66 is basically cosmetic. All it needs, I'm not happy. It's got paint all over it, but I'm not happy with it. I think it could be better. That was kind of a just before the virus time project, and kind of got drug into that period of time, and then you couldn't get parts, and I've got all the decals and stuff, but I don't think that the front curtains are really worth it. I may try to just order a new set and be done with it. I'd like to get that vocational school to work on the body. I'd take them all the sheet metal off of it and let them pound it out, because the hood has got 10,000 hammer hits. It was caved in on that one side like it had been run against a tree. So, but otherwise it runs and drives. I've used it for little piddly jobs and stuff. 1365, it's just about as good as it can be. It's developed a slight antifreeze leak, I think, up there. We determined we'll have to mess with that at some point. Probably won't be anytime soon. I mean, until it gets worse, it's fine. It'll be a warm weather project is what I'm saying. We don't need it right now. We've got other choices. 60, it's restored and runs and whatever. Probably needs a carburetor cleaning. It's kind of finicky with the choke sometimes to keep it running. 66, we got that done, but we really need to, which I never got done, and it's probably too late now, but I'd really like to take it out and run it and get it really hot and then retorque the head, because that's never been done. I ran it for just a little bit and then that was the end of it, but I think it's fine. It's a lot better than what we had, because the last time I ran it, it did not get hot like it. I was going to look at that, but ADD here is kicking in and I'm thinking about other stuff, but I'm just going to walk away. It's fine. That's a project though that I think it's usable this summer. We'll get it out and start in with it and find something for it to do. 6100 planter, I really want to get going. There's really nothing wrong with it to speak of that I know of, other than it needs cleaning good, and it's just been sitting a long time. I bought it from those old pair of brothers that quit farming. Well, when you die, you quit farming, and now they're both gone. So as far as I know, there's really nothing that it needs to go, other than, like I said, by now it might need a set of brushes, because they never took the plates off. I don't know. It's set up for soybeans, so we'll have to adjust speeds and all that. But I really envision in my plan that I want to get the 1755 set up like I did the 1855 to run this blower and stuff off of the tractor hydraulics, so I don't have to fool with this pump. So that's a very soon project. It's kind of high up on my list, but whether I get it done or not, I don't know. 1650 diesel gets used every few days for hay. since putting out 2 hay bales, I haven't had to do it quite as often, and I like that. It needs some stuff, cosmetic mainly, cleaned up, painted, but it's probably never going to happen because it gets used every day. This is ready to go as far as I know. Just need to do it. I hadn't felt good, so I kind of held off of doing anything that was going to make a bunch of dust right in my face. But now that I'm about 57.6% better, maybe I'll just go ahead and go for it. We can try out that sheller, and we can grind us a load of feed, and then we need to be doing that soon anyway. I'd like to get some feed ground for them, and then that means I got to go to town and get more of the stuff to mix in with it, but we'll get that going any day now. 1755 still sleeping in here. It'll fire right up if you put jumper cables on it. So want to do that. The biggest project I want to do to this is that hydraulic unit. Convert it over so I could run the Power Beyond, and this one is going to be a chore because it does not have the plug in it for the return, if I remember right. Or so, oh, it doesn't have the plug in it up here for that hydraulic temperature sender, so the only plug is in the back, and that's where they stuck it. Well, I don't like that idea. I guess I could take that out. It doesn't really matter maybe, but I would, the only correct way to do it in my mind is I got to take this off of the back of the tractor, flip it over, drill a hole, tap it for pipe thread, and then put it back in and live life, and then it'll be ready to go. But that is a major undertaking as far as something to be doing, and I don't know if I really want to do that to speak of yet. I may just go ahead and take the sender out and run with it and go, but we'll see what I get done. It'd be more fun to do that when it was warm outside than in the cold. So yeah, literally all I need to do is pick it up enough so that I could drill through there, tap it, and then set it back down, and that sucks. I guess I could try to do it with it on the tractor, but there's no good way to get to where we need to go, and I'm worried about, I don't want metal shavings in there, so that's where we are on that. This thing runs excellent, and I like to drive it and whatever. It's kind of getting tired. It has a lot of blow by, but it'll run a good while yet. I'm not going to tear apart a running tractor when I got other fish to fry. Freddie, the 1450, he's down to, like we've talked about before, we're working on cosmetics and we're working on back end stuff. We need to finish the grill. Probably 90% of it is cosmetics that needs done to it. That's an excellent little horse, and it's been fun to play with. However, it will not get used all the time, but something neat. Super 88, it doesn't owe me a thing. I'm still on the fence about painting it. I don't know. It's original, but kind of not very good. But I've seen some guys do amazing stuff if they have the time to sand around and do stuff, but I don't know if I have that kind of patience, so I don't know. 770, it doesn't owe us anything. It's ready to roll. Dad did not like the steering on it last time he used it. He said it was tight, but I don't see anything out of the ordinary from what I've done. I suppose I could go through and change out U-joints and stuff, but that's a lot of work. I'm just going to live with it, and if people don't want to use it because of that, then it can sit and I'll use it. So 77, it's a good tractor. Cosmetically, it's going downhill. It had a very cheapo paint job when I was a little kid, and it needs probably repainted. It needs a tune-up, plugs and wires and that, because it's got a little flutter to it and stuff sometimes. Number 2 co-op, I don't know where to go with this. I have not been able to get a hold of the owner. I don't know what the situation is. She has not called me. I don't know how to get a hold of her now. Somehow I lost her number in the shuffle, and I'm just really, I don't know where to proceed. I don't want to spend a ton of money on something that doesn't belong to me. I don't know. I'm going to probably proceed with it as I get time, just so that I can play with it, and then it doesn't just go to pieces sitting here. I'm too fat to fit through here, so I can't go that way. It's really kind of a hassle to store something and keep it nice when it doesn't belong to you, but I need to talk to her because I've got questions of how she wants to proceed on some stuff. And So that's where we are. I mean, that's a weird situation that I find myself in, but I am not being a jerk, and I hope that if she is out there and sees this, that maybe she'll get a hold of me and we'll figure out something, because I don't have a ton of my time wrapped up in it. If she just wants to come get it, that's fine too. I understand it's been a while, but I wasn't going to throw tons of money at it when I don't know where she's at. The last word I got from her was she was going on vacation to Florida and wouldn't be back till spring. And that was the end of it. I never heard from her again. 1800A. We got things we could be doing to this horse. Steering box rebuild. It's got some leaks on it, I see. It's another one that cosmetically I would like to improve. I got another battery box to make 1 out of 2 because I never did find an 1800A style panel here that was the correct kind, because it is different than some of the others. But I got another one that I think I can cut a section out and make a new, fix this somehow, because it's actually got a dimple in it here and that's gone. So I think I can make it go. But time is all we need, friends. 1650 that we always had, it needs the 2-speed rebuilt mainly. And then also, what did we break? The 3-point arms. Something when we were going to go corn picking with it, we broke and it quit working. And I think it was the 3-point linkage. So we're going to have to pull the top off and figure out what's the deal there. It's just one of those things that why not? Why wouldn't that happen, 1550, it should be good to go. It's been hanging out in here. The mower needs a pitman. I've got that. Just never had time, put it away for the winter, and that was the end of that. So there we are there. I didn't mention that corn special combine, but you know what the story is in that. It's basically parts. So we'll see. We may try to break it free and get the motor running, but no guarantees. 1655, need to get this done. This is a high priority too, because I need to use this. I like this tractor, and so I just have not had time. I have no time, but we're gonna make time because this needs to get done. So we'll get that done. The head is down here, it's rebuilt, ready to go. Just got to get it done. Super 77 diesel runs, but definitely needs a rebuild. It is a tired old horse, and like I said, I'm not tearing apart another tractor till we get some of this put back together. So when I get that one done, probably still won't tear into this because it's still together. I would rather tear into one that doesn't run. Probably the next one would be that Heritage tractor, which I forgot to mention. But I'd like to mess with that a little more and get it going. And then probably the 1955 or the 1600, something that does nothing. And we'll get it up to that point. This can still be started and moved if we have to. So, yeah. 1855 should not need anything other than cleaned up a little bit and put back to work for this year. So it should be ready to roll. It could use a couple batteries, but I don't know if we'll get that done. Who knows? The batteries they're bad, but they're not bad. If you charge them up and you use the tractor once or twice a week, they're fine. But if it sits for 2 or 3 weeks, it seems like they're not enough to start it in the cold, but that may just be because it's cold, so whatever. But it should be 100% ready to go. 2844, absolutely no progress has taken place, I don't think. I don't remember what you saw in the last video that I did on it, but I started messing with it and I kind of regret it. I should have just left it alone and shoved it in the shed and not worried about it. But I'm welding on that manifold. The manifold is junk. The ones you get aftermarket are super expensive, but they're not the right style for this tractor with the way it's configured. So I don't know. What's a guy do? He just moves on with life and tries to find stuff as he can and goes with it. But some progress has been made, but not a lot. And we need to change that. We need to start making progress on some stuff a little at a time, but that's where we are. Well, as per usual, the GoPro battery died, but I was pretty well done. I think everything else isn't that important, or you've seen it. The old super cheap Superduty here is now a driver. I got the plates on it and insurance all lined out. That was a chore. It didn't have to be, but that's the way it is. We're going to be doing some things to this. I'm going to try to see about getting the body, some of the dents pulled, and repaint the hood. And I found a set of alloy wheels for it. Maybe we may be putting on, because the steel, I'm not sold on that look. I need to do something to it, because the plain white look just ain't doing it for me. I've got an idea for some graphics maybe to make it a little better, but I want to get the dents pulled first. One thing I'm going to do to it, which I've done to every truck I've ever owned, I'm going to put some cab lights on it, because I think they look better with cab lights. So I've got that figured out too, how I'm going to do that. It's going to be the fanciest of any truck I've ever done, because you can actually, I'm going to buy the harness that goes from under here and it runs up there and then goes across and has all the plugs for the lights. And then all you got to do is plug and play. There's no cutting into wiring or anything. You just take out the harness that's there, swap it with the new one. It's got 2 more wires on it to run those lights, and that's it. And then there's a place that makes a template you can lay on there to drill your holes. Much more scientific than I ever did it, but I think that's the way it's going to be. I wish there was a way to convert these mirrors, which I'm sure there is, to the style that has turn signals and that, but it's not worth it. Those are not power of any kind, not heated, not power moving, not lit up with turn signals. It's not worth trying to cobble in the wiring to make that go. So I'll just live without that. We're not 100% sure that this will stick around. I may decide that I want something different and trade it and get something different. It will never be worth more than it is right now, so this would be the time. But I'm going to drive it a little bit and make it a little bit more appealing, which will only help it if it leaves. But like I said, it needs some minor cosmetic stuff. Probably new bumpers would not hurt it. The back one isn't too awful bad, a few dings, but this piece of plastic is what's messed up on it. Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. I like driving it. It is probably the most comfortable of any vehicle I've driven. Everything is laid out. It's like sitting in an armchair. You've got armrests on both sides, and yeah. So it did excellent today. I drove it to town. And I did get, folks, which I can't make it do it with it. Even if I turn the key on, it still won't do it. But several people said push that plus button, and then it lights up a whole nother row on top of the park neutral drive, and it has like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it lights up which gear it's in. So that's kind of neat. That helps, and it helps you tell where you are with the speed you're at. Needs a good cleaning, and that's nothing. We'll get that figured out. So anyway, as I've said before, there's no shortage of projects, so I got something I could be doing every day, but I don't know if it's interesting enough that you'd want to watch it. But I'm going to try to keep cranking out videos, and we'll see what it is. I guess as long as people keep watching, I'll keep doing it. So that's where we stand. As always, I can't believe that people actually watch this stuff, because it's really, I mean, it's just stuff I'm doing every day. I was doing it anyway, and now I just do it with a camera. So that's kind of interesting. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. That stuff's supposed to help. Who knows if it does, but it doesn't cost you anything. So if you want to do that. Also, if you are not subscribed, do that. Because I notice in the statistics, like, a majority of the people that watch are not subscribed, and that I think probably helps the old algorithm too. So just go ahead and hit that button. And then, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.